A very good evening to all of you and welcome back to my video. Education is the manifestation of the perfection already in the man. If you read and heard about this dialogue or quote saying by one of our very famous personalities, that's none other than Swami Vivekananda. So what is the meaning of this quote? It means a significant ideas or knowledge putting into the actions is called the real educations. But what if I told you that whatever the education system previously, it doesn't meet that system? What if I told you the new education policy that comes into in July 29, 2020 is already impact our real education system? So today on this video I'm going to discuss about the new education policy which really impact our education system and what was our old education systems and how it will getting benefited on our this new education policies. So if you want to take the benefit out of it, I just want to request you to stay till the end. So whenever you are thinking about the education system or old education system, so what is the thinking always coming into the mind? The first thing always coming into your mind definitely about the mark based system. Okay, the people who got the more marks, they are real people who are good at educations. The people who got good percentage, they're good at educations. But what if I told you how many peoples are getting selected in the employment, how many peoples are really how many subjects are really important, how much marks are really important when you are putting into the actions when you are employed in one of the company or business. But how much percentage of your knowledge you are putting into the actions when you are doing a real job or real scenario? That's why the new education policy is coming to the existence and come into effect, which definitely provided our new education system and enhance our education system. So guys, whenever you are thinking about a mark-based education systems and never decided the quality of a student. Okay, the marks is always about the pen and paper, but it is very much important that whatever the skills he has developed, whatever the concept he has understand, whatever the intellectual qualities, whatever the skills, the communications, what are the things he developed during the long period of time, that is impacted when he put into the different employment or different jobs. So what are the things that is coming into the mind when you are thinking about the job? Definitely critical thinking, a communication skills, when you're thinking about the communication system, or when you're thinking about decision making, or when you're thinking about the creativity, that's impact. So the new education policy is want to more emphasize on that rather than the mark based systems. Now, we always think about that the people who got good marks, they are the people who are getting good at the studies. Okay, so but it is actually not. But the important thing is how much skills you have developed, how much things you are developed, that is really impact on your job, in your career and your employment. That's why we see the difference between the people who are graduated from the universities and colleges and the people who are getting employed. Okay, that's why we see the difference. The people who never get an employee and do lot of like things like suicide and all kind of things because of not getting an employed any kind of job. So this really education policy wants to banish all kind of mark-based system and try to implement more about the skills, the knowledge and all about the vocational studies. Okay, so what about the things that it has discussed here is all about the assessment of students and makeover of report card. So apart from the marks, there will be skills and capabilities over mark sheet, encouraging passions that will definitely reduce the comparison. Our parents always compare me or ourselves with other students on the basis of the marks. You've heard about right that you see about the Sarmaji ka beta itna mark rakha, Parmaji ka beta itna mark rakha, so you are why are not doing so much marks. But that's not never get a impact on real education. Is the impact is all about the skills, your development, your thoughts, your intellectual capability, your critical analysis of the thoughts. Okay, that is very much important, the critical analysis of problems, not thoughts, the problems. Okay, so the real education system is always emphasize more about the skill set rather than the marks also important, but not that much regarding comparison to the skill set. So that's to reduce the comparison. Okay, and it also give a student the to provide the self assessment. It means that we see the teachers are assessing the students, their marks, their the grades, right? But now the system has changed. Now the implementation of the education policy come into existence, that the students have their capabilities to access themselves, and their classmate also access to the marks of the student itself. So what exactly that means for when we are thinking about the schools, our parents or our teachers always help to accessing our marks, okay, the assessment of the marks. But when you leave out the schools, when you left the school, colleges, then nobody will be there. You are the only person who are taking assessment of yourself. So that is very much important, self assessment. Okay, that's coming into existence with the new education policy coming forward. Okay, so there is no kind of mugging off, no kind of type of things what you do in your educations that really impact when you are getting unemployed. Okay, so this is the first thing I want to discuss. The second thing I just want to discuss about the vocational educations. Okay, so what exactly a vocational educations? We know that people who are study with us, people are some of are good at studies, some of them who are not good at studies. But if you see that the person who are not good at studies, maybe they have interested towards the other areas. If you try to compare ourselves with the European country, they give the equal importance to the educations, and other side the others criteria of vocational studies. When I'm thinking about the vocational studies, he known about the carpentry, he known about the gardening, it's not about the plumbering, it's not about the other thing in the electricians. So these are all the skills that's really important apart from your job, apart from your studies, what you studies. When you are most of time are investing or reading things, but it's also important that we should develop our skill set. So that's really impact our creativity, but analysis of the skills, that's really impact our the concept, the real conceptuality, and also important that when you are getting a job into the different areas. Okay, what are the areas I have discussed? So the vocational education is more important along with the education. That's why the European countries, that's why the countries from the developed country are significantly ahead to the education of our country. Okay, so it is very much important that you should learn the things apart from your education with the vocational studies. Third thing is all about no language barriers. So what exactly a no language barriers is all about? The things that is very much important. Okay, so before that, going to the no language barriers, I just want to tell about that the people who are going for the vocational study from the started from the 6th class itself, and there is a time into 6 to 8 where the giving a 10 days time for no bag taking. It means that people do not have to take the books, load of the books to the colleges, to the schools, rather than thinking about on the vocational studies. They have to put into the learning of different skill set, like I told about the carpentry, that I told about the electrician, that I told about the pipe fitting, the skills, that's told about the gardening, that's told about the plumbing. These are all the skills which also created jobs. Okay, the main important thing is creating jobs and creating employments. So but the only thing about our system is built in such a way that we always think out these other things are a lower level, but in European countries, in the past, in a Western country, these are giving the equal importance along with the jobs. So that is why we have to learn the vocational studies along with the regular educations. So 10 days bagless period, you don't have to take the bag, and you have to be trained under this vocational studies. So this is the second. And third thing all about the languages. It means that we know that the people, more of the people, 65% of India, so in the rural areas. Okay, so what is important, the people who are not educated. Whatever this is, when the people who are coming for the the rural background are not getting access to the education system. So the important thing is, the first is all about giving the educations on the regional language. Okay, whatever the language to the particular particular states or particular place or whatever the things, so we have to learn on things that may not be compulsory, but there may be an options to learn. So what exactly will happen, it is always happen the enrollment of the student on this education system, and more people are getting educated. Okay, so that's really impact on our education system. The fourth thing is all about, I just want to discuss about multidisciplinary educations. Okay, so what exactly a multidisciplinary educations? So it means that when I pass out from 10th class, I join in commerce background, but I also have an interest towards an art, towards a lot of subjects, history, geography, subjects like economics, subject like the other thing like psychology, or maybe the philosophy, which I really interested about it. But the system was burned in such a way, system was standard in such a way, we have to take only commerce but do not have to take other things in the arts. Okay, so these are discrimination between the all kind of discipline. It's about art, science, commerce, and people who are choosing science background, they cannot take the subject in arts, they can do not take the subjects in commerce subjects. But now the system has changed, there is no kind of three kind of discipline, you can an option to take any kind of subjects. Okay, if you are interested for the any kind of science, you can take out some of the subjects from the arts, which we can, if you are interested with the commerce, you can some of the subjects from the science itself. So what exactly it will impact? If you think about a engineer, okay, if you think about it, engineer who is about designing, okay, designing engineer or something about that. So designing engineer for something about, if you are learning something about engineering or something about the science, apart from that he's a designing on a humanity or something subjects related to the arts, so that develop the skills between a creativity, the critical thinking, that's also created something develop about the interest where variety of subjects or knowledge, okay, that he can take. Okay, so it is very much important that you should not be focus on the particular area. If you are interested in other area, you can take that. Okay, so that is very much important, that take into the existence by this educational policy. So there is a flexibility, you can take any kind of subject. So if you are thinking about the one particular subjects, you are always thinking about, okay, I will be cope up with that subject, but you have a flexibility to choose all the subjects. Okay, so that you can create a science, or that to create a artistic subjects, or that to improve critical thinking, designing sense, communications, and creative thinking. That's very much important. The fifth thing is about the multi-entry and multi-exit. Okay, so this is the fifth thing. What exactly multi-entry and exit thing in the class? So if you are someone from if you start your studies from any kind of graduate, okay, after the year 10+2, so there is a chance that you are not very much supportive financially. There may be a chance that there's something happened to your responsibility, or something happened that you leave the study in between, but there is no option that you can switch, or they can rejoin this subject after that, after some period of time before. But now that possible because of this education policy. There may be the financial problem, I could not resume my study for a long period of time. But yes, in these situations, in this policy, the system has changed, and the people can, if the people can exit in 1 year, they can resume their subject after 1 year, 2 years, okay, according to their interest. Okay, before that it was not possible because the system is like that. But now the system has changed, you can exit anytime, any between in the year, and you can resume after a certain period of time. And the people who are exiting after first year, or if they want to take another stream, for example, I am interested towards this after a certain period of time, I take as a science my subject, but I am interested towards like arts or something like some other subject, I can exit, I take the credit of that subject, and I can switch over to the another subjects. Okay, so that is the most important thing that's come into the picture. So the first year, if he want to exit the things, then he will get a certificate of the things, okay, which is not before. The second year, if you are exiting, that definitely you will get a diploma certificates, okay, exit from the colleges. If you're not interested, or if you are some financial pressure or some other responsibility not continue about the studies, so he will get a certificate. At least he can credit something about his knowledge about your subject, so he can something go for an employment, right? The third thing is all about when he exit after third year, he can take a subject like he can take a subject like a graduate. Okay, he is graduated from the that discipline. Or after fourth year, if he can take the after fourth year, if he, that he can be a research. Okay, more about he can get a credit of research graduate. So this is all about a person who are really about a who are really importance about the entry and exit point. If you are first year, you can take a certificate. Second year, you take a executing, you can take a diploma. The third year, if you are exiting, you can take a bachelor degree or bachelor in graduations. Or if you are fourth year, if you take if you are fourth year pass out, different year research on the bachelor or your research on the graduate itself. So these are the things that is discussed on the multi-entries. That is called, if you are fourth year, that is called bachelor research degree. Third year is all about bachelor degree. Second year is the diploma, and first year is about the certificates. So what exactly the impact? The impact is all about the improvement of the overall system. Okay, enrollment of the overall system, that's open for all that. So people are more and more will be enrolled for these courses, and if they left the job or left the studies in between, they can resume after a certain period of time, and they can take a credit off for that, whatever the studies. That's really important. So this is the fifth thing I discussed. So what about the other things? So now the thing is all about I told about multidisciplinary, multi-entry. The sixth thing about the digitalizations. In thinking about digitalization, what exactly the digitalization means? We know that we have to go to the college and studies over there, but what if you are coming for a rural background, you cannot have to go to the towns and things like that. But it is the same that in India, the people who are more into the internet is all about the how many people are using the internet. Almost 55% of people are using the internet. So if you not go to the, it's not about rural areas. If the people who are not accessed and go to the studies, like for example, if the person is handicapped, physically handicapped, if the person who have some responsibility can go to the study, to the classes, he cannot adhere to the fees, but which is paid by the institute, but he can take the courses through online. So through online, they can provided the facilities of you can pay the fees. You can take the courses online. You can take the courses through your regional language. You can take the courses to the through your e-courses that is happen to the online, that is dedicated to the online. So you can take all that, so you can get educated yourself and appear for any kind of exams. So what is the importance? It can happen that people who are not coming due to the certain circumstances and to the institute, they can take the benefit through the internet with all the courses happening. Okay, this is the six things that is I have discussed. The seventh thing is all about the Lok Vidya. So what about the Lok Vidya? So whenever thinking about the different countries, different states, they are really proud of their culture, their art, their thinking, their whatever the develop their country. For our country, whenever thinking that culture is not about educations, okay, because the building of the system is such a way. But now the importance of the education policy really affect for the culture, the Indian cultures, our Indian culture. If you think about the session all about the khadi, so think about the things since a handloom, think about the fishermen, farmers, and these are the people who are also, they have some art, they have some culture, they have something they are good at, but which we do not know. But what if important, they are also the jobs, they are the things that is also giving you the monetary benefit. That is, if you can apply, you can do that job, you can do your business over there, and you can earn things. So that is the things we learn through this new education policy. So if you are learning that education policy through these things, so that is giving a more importance of this kind of the Lok Vidya, what you call in Lok Vidya, what you call the Indian cultures and heritage. So definitely you will learn about the Indian culture and heritage, and that is not going to learn something from outside. That's really not important. Learn from our things, our impact, our development, and our things, our cultures. That's really helpful for the expansions of the jobs and expansion of our knowledge. Okay, so that's very much important. The last the eighth thing I want to discuss about all the all the things that I have discussed about the things I have already told. Apart from that, I have already told about the system of the education is built in such a way that it will be like a 10+2 basis. Okay, what exactly 10+2? Previously it was 10+, so like the person who start from the age of 6th. Okay, the children has to start from the age of 6. Now the student have to start from the age of 3rd. Okay, 3 is start. So the children has to start from the age of 3, and he can do for start your education. So it is based on 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4 educations. Okay, so it means that on the age of the 5, okay, he can start the education start from age of 3 to 6. Always about the preschools. The education start from then class 1 and class 2. Then from for the next 3 years he will be given the education on the playing discovery, active based class learning. Then 6, 7, 8 standards is more focused on about experiential learning. Sciences, art, humanities are part of from the all the vocationally training, which I told you about the 10 days bagless period where he has to come with without bag, the 6, 7, 8 class. And after that the multidisciplinary, it means whatever the interest like 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, what are the subjects, whatever the subjects he really or she really good at, he can take the subject, are really interested in it, and he can educate himself or herself. So that's really impact on our education system. Okay, so this is all about called multidisciplinary. When you think about 9 to 12 class, this is all about called 6 to 8 classes experiential learning, science, arts and humanities. And then 3rd year is about playing discovery, activity based. And then 5, 3, 3, 4, it's all about based on 5, 3, 3, 4. It means that there is a system whenever thinking about the graduation about 3 years, right? You know, BTech is all about 4 years, but other thing like BSc, BBS or BCom or bachelor in arts are about 3 years. Now the system will be 4 years. Okay, if you are taking the 4 years, then there will be 1 year about your PG or postgraduate. If you are taking about 3 years, then 2 year will be the PG. Okay, postgraduate degree. So that's really changes happen in your education system. So what if I told you about what about the other system happening or the other changes happening in your education system? There is a proper check on the fees. You know that the fees is one of the important factor when the parents are not able to afford their children to read to teach them some in the good schools itself. But it is very much important that the scrutinize about this fee, the fees factor, and it is very much want to focus on the fee and try to focus on the schools which really want to focus on the fees factor itself. So fees should be a proper check and proper fees. Every institute should be non-profit, regularly audit should be happen during the course of years. Okay, that's all about the things, and that's very much important how much things are going to implement it. Okay, so this is all about all colleges except legal and medical will be coming under the HECI. It means that there is a chance that we have to go to the number of colleges for our certificates. We have to go do the lot of paperwork. Okay, you have to go running from different institute to different institute for colleges or universities for our certificates. But now the things were that all colleges except the legal and the medical will coming under the HECI, Higher Education and Commission of India, which reduce the rate tapism. It means no more less paperwork. Only one institute you can go to whatever your certificates or whatever things you are pending, and go there and appear for that, and you can take the certificates over there, right? So that is very much important. So now the thing is about fee should be proper check or already look with the already digitalization already told, multiple tests, multidisciplinary, make or report cards, vocational education was given important, non-language barriers. So these are all the benefit that you got to the education policy. But what if I told you this, what are the flaws that is happening, what are the disadvantages? People think that this is somehow getting benefited, but on other side of coin there's also disadvantages of it. The first thing all about the language barriers. As you know that the 1st to 5th classes we have to choose a regional language, but what about the people who want to transfer from their job from one state to the another state? For example, the person who's read from the Kerala for 1st to 3 and again he transferred to the Delhi. From the Delhi is more important. You have to learn in Hindi. Kerala is something about their Kerala language. So that's a problem happening. That's something I kind flaws in the systems. Okay, So this is the first flaws I decided. The second thing is all about all the things has been controlled by the centralized. It means that the state doesn't give in power to centralize, and the state is more focused about what is the problem happening and problem doing the things, but everything is granted of the central. The central has to regulate all the things and directly to the states to implement itself. So that is one kind of flaws I think, which there is no decentralization, so only the central things happening. Okay, this is the second. And third thing is all about as you know that India is a country where we find the per number of teachers to the students is very less. So providing the vocational education, a lot of education like in different factors always create a gap and always create a question mark in our things. So does we really provide, does we really implement whatever the things that has been approved? Does we really implement what are the things that is learn, or the things that we discuss about? That's always clear. There's always a gap between implementations and the learnings, or implementation what has been decided or what has been approved by the cabinet. So that's always be a creative flaw in my mind. So these are the flaws I have discussed to you. So it is all based out about the implementation, how much percentage is implemented, the benefit will get out of it, and the people and the student will be decided, and it decided their future itself. Okay, so this is all about my video. Hope you understand something. I know the video is somewhat long, but yes, if you are the person who are seeing the video up to last, definitely you learn at least something about the video. I'm sorry, something about the video, and yes, you'll get the output from it. Okay, thank you so much for watching my video, and have a nice day.